So what started out as a simple head swap has turned into a nightmare. I pulled the heads off. I found a leaking freeze plug. And it just happened to be a freeze plug that was really difficult to get to. And I thought, okay, I've got the heads off. It's not much work. I'll just pull the motor. Pull the motor out. And then managed to convince myself I should take the block to get it checked, because when I popped the freeze plugs out, there was all kinds of gunk inside the block. I'm talking about spoonfuls of rust and gack. So I took the block, pulled the pistons, all that stuff, took the block to a machine shop. They checked it. It was golden. Okay? Well, bolts for the rods are one-time use, special order items, because I don't have ARPs. I was recommended by AirRam Performance not to use ARP rod bolts for the stock rods. Fair enough, fine. I'm not revving this thing to the moon, whatever. Put it all, get all that stuff, put it all back together. It's just been one nightmare after another with this job. Get it all back together, start it up, and smoke billows fills my garage. Like, what on earth? Get to checking and checking and checking. Number 8 on the passenger side is all the way in the back toward the firewall, and it's kind of canted at an angle, and the oil fill hole is up here, so there's this little puddle of oil that has to build up before it drains. That cylinder, the valve guides on the new heads were sloppy loose, and it was just dumping oil into the cylinder. I'm talking like, let it sit for a couple of minutes, pull the spark plug out, and the spark plug would drip oil. So I thought, well, maybe the stem seals are botched up, because, you know, I modified the stem seals. So I bought new stem seals, modified those a different way with a with a lathe, and, you know, held it properly with a lathe and just machined off a tiny little bit. Put the new stem seals in there, still smoking. Okay, it's gotta be the head. So pull the head off, jiggle it around. Here's a quick video of that. Call the head manufacturer and they ship me a new head, but that meant I had to pull it all apart again for that one head, order new head gasket and all that kind of crap. So this has been, I think, 6 weeks of a debacle that was supposed to be a couple Saturday thing. So I have the new head, which I took it all apart and checked everything this time around. I mean, I bought remanufactured heads. Why in the world, and this head company is a reputable one, why in the world would I take everything apart to check it just to put it back together? So this time I did. And as far as I can tell, everything is okay on the new head. So I just got it all back together. I have not put coolant in it yet, because the way this has gone, as I'm so nervous, I'm going to start it up and see another problem. And this is not due to my workmanship, thank God, but coolant is like one of the last things I like to put in there, because it makes such a mess if you have to tear it all apart. So this is my first start after the second time of putting heads on it. I literally have not started it yet. I've checked and rechecked everything I possibly can, and I'm just praying to the Lord Jesus that I'm done with this, that everything is good. So I'm going to start it, let it build oil pressure, let it run for just a minute or two, make sure nothing is bad wrong, and then I'll put coolant in it. Billowing smoke. I expected to smoke a tiny bit from all the oil and handprints and stuff. It just smells rich. rich. That's all. I don't smell oil. I don't, oh, there's a little smoke. Oh, there's smoke. Maybe it's just got to burn some stuff off. When I did that, just gave it a little blip, it was just like a steam engine, just boom, filled the garage. It's still smoking. There's probably oil in the manifold because of how bad it was leaking, so I'm gonna reserve judgment for a couple minutes. But it doesn't have coolant in it, so I'm gonna shut it off. At least I didn't hear any like clack or something like that, you know, because timing on these things is pretty tricky. Oh, I can't believe it's still smoking out there. I'm praying it's just because there's a little bit of oil inside the manifold. I want this saga to be over on the truck. I'm ready to just drive it and start working on the Corvette, which, by the way, parts have slowly been trickling in. I have almost all the parts I need to start working on the Corvette. I have all the main stuff, the block, the rods, the crank, the bearings, the bolts. Like, I have a lot of the main stuff, so as soon as this freaking thing gets done, I can start working on that.